Part 61. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiaxu. Chapter 601. Xiaoqi usually laughs and laughs without formality, but as long as it is something he believes in, he will go all out to do his best. All members of AF wear Nike sportswear. Because they are a brand new team, they have no sponsors, but Wen Qiao still chose to let them wear branded sportswear. This is a fully live esports competition. If major brands see their outstanding performance and their excellent image, they should give them an olive branch after this competition. With sponsors and father as the sponsor, we have the money to do more things. Because AF had just formed the army less than a year ago and participated in the competition for the first time, the members in the group stage seriously underestimated the enemy and did not take them seriously at all. This is a game based on ranking points and head points. In Group B, Lu Ying and the others cut through the mess quickly. In just 4 games, they had already pushed the total points to the first place with an irreversible and absolute advantage. They had just finished the game, and Monkey encouraged them, "Let's go and watch the CG game. I'm sure they couldn't even break through the group. Let's see how they were crushed by those weak teams." Unexpectedly, as soon as I walked to area of the stadium, I saw that the AF players had also finished the game and walked off the stage. Lu Ying chuckled softly, "Let's go see the AF team, which is in ruins." As I got closer, I heard the excitement on the faces of a few scattered spectators in the audience. How come I haven't heard of Team AF before? I came here to take a look because I really couldn't buy Lu Ying to participate in the competition in Area B. I thought it would be boring, but I didn't expect that the AF players are so handsome. I really like the conductor, Wen Qi is so handsome. Wen Qi, I feel a bit young, only 16. I like Gu Xiao. I just took a photo and asked my friends. I heard that he is a top student in the reopening school, or a top student in the reopening school. Aren't Chen Tian and Yu Zhan delicious? Lu Ying's face was ashen. He never thought that AF's people could actually break through the group stage. That's fine. Next week's quarterfinals, he can teach those guys who don't know the heights of the world. Monkey gritted his teeth, they are just lucky. I heard that the teams in the queue are all weak teams. Let them learn a lot next week. Wen Qi and a few others jumped off the stage, met in a narrow road, and happened to face a few people from CG. The 4 players in the AF team are all handsome in various styles. Although Wen Qi is young, he already has the appearance of an evil spirit, with exquisite facial features and clean temperament. Gu Xiao has a gloomy temperament and a careless demeanor, as if he doesn't care about such a victory. Shen Tian is like a carefree young man. Because Yu Zhan has a domineering and cool sister who presses him down, he has the image of a good baby. When 4 handsome guys are coming towards you, what kind of skills do you need? The key is that these 4 people are handsome and strong, and esports fans immediately became passive and began to waver. The second ancestor Shen took the lead and looked at Lu Ying with a smile, "I disappoint Luoshan. We won the group stage. The person you will face next week is your father." The monkey on the other side shouted loudly, "Then let the fathers teach you how to behave next week." Lu Ying's smile was a bit contemptuous. To be so arrogant as a fledgling, the newcomers have never been beaten mercilessly by society, and next week is obviously going to show them. Wen Qi, we will find out who is the father and who is the son next week. The 2 teams walked out, and Lu Yuyu took Wen Qiao's arm and followed behind. Everywhere they went, fans were screaming crazily. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiaxu. Chapter 602. Luoshan, you are so handsome. CG will definitely enter the quarterfinals. CG wants to win the championship. CG rushes to the duck. Wen Qiao stopped Wen Qi, although I was sitting in area A just now, I was also watching the CG live broadcast on my mobile phone. They were really cool. It felt like they were just letting Luo Ying show off his skills. Wen Qi shrugged, the sponsors of CG all invest in Lu Ying, and the fans watching the live broadcast in the live broadcast room also invest in Lu Ying. A team is very taboo about individual heroism. This is a team competition. Wen Qiao glanced at him with raised eyebrows. If you win in the future, become famous, and have many fans, will you float like a falling shadow? Wen Qi pouted, definitely, not. Why are you so sure? Because I have an irritable but calm and rational sister. If I dare to float, I feel like I will be beaten severely by you. Wen Qiao forced out a gentle smile and said, you are right to have this ideological consciousness. Keep it up, otherwise your sister's fists will not recognize people. Back at the club, Brother Dong was not surprised that they could break through the group stage. He didn't praise them much. He just said, train well and do CG next week. CG, the boys were united and did not relax at all. They immediately entered the training room and started training again. While all AF members are training day and night, what are the CG people doing? They are filming video advertisements for sponsors and collecting fans' wallets. Because rich fans are giving them rewards, they hang out in the live broadcast room at night, leading passers-by or rich fans to play games. How can you improve your skills by fighting passers-by? So, a week later, the two teams officially faced off. Lu Yuyu was very nervous. Dong Yao glanced at her and said, I have watched the CG live broadcast. Wen Qi and the others have a good chance of winning. You don't need to be so shaken. When Lu Yuyu saw it, her legs were shaking like a sewing machine, and she forced a smile. I'm not nervous at all. Looking at Wen Qiao again, his brother was competing on the stage, and he was still calmly having a video call with Mr. Fu. The contrast is too stark. Wen Qiao and Fu Nanli approached the screen and said to Fu Nanli, it's late at night over there. Go to sleep. Xiao Kai's game is about to start. I won't tell you any more. Young Master Fu felt a wave of beauty strikes at close range, and his voice was low and hoarse, well, tell me after the game is over. Good. Several girls' voices came from behind. Huazeo is here, ah, he is so handsome. Flower God feels that Lu Ying and the others are a threat to him, so he came here to watch the battle. Definitely. Do you still think the rookie team can pose a threat to them? Huazeo is the captain of the team previously led by Neptune. He is also the only team in China that has won double championships in the PGC competition and the London Summit. Huazeo said to the people around her, I heard that AF can fight well. Well, Luo Ying and the others are too crazy and flamboyant. They will definitely be crushed by the newcomers this time, or the newcomer team will meet us in Busan. The game officially begins, with double points for ranking and head count. Gu Xiao, where to jump? Wen Qi calmly looked at the route, airport. Shen Tian, then we have to do it quickly and grab people's heads. 4 people skydived and just landed on the roof of the building. The public screen already showed that Lu Ying had collected a head. Wen Qi curled his lips slightly and said, don't be influenced by them. Shen Tian, brother, you think too much and you won't be affected. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 603. Here, the 4 of Wen Qi played steadily and worked together flawlessly, while over there, it was Luo Ying's solo show. Lu Ying was in a hurry. He knew that Wen Qi and the others had also jumped to the airport. Only one team would be able to get out of the airport alive. He wanted to find Wen Qi and the others as soon as possible and eliminate them. Wen Qi picked up a handful of 98K and gave it to Gu Xiao. Yu Zhan picked up an 8-fold mirror and gave it to Gu Xiao. Wen Qi asked Gu Xiao to go to the distant mountain to make a sniper kill. After a while, Luo Ying collected 4 heads, none of which could be beaten, and most of the audience in the stadium came towards them, which further fueled his arrogance, causing him to really have a sense of his own. The illusion of omnipotence. Luo Yinggang's gun is very powerful, and he often kills the entire team by himself. It happened often recently, but he forgot that it was his brilliant performance during the live broadcast. In the live broadcast room, although those who matched his level were already masters, they were still passers-by and not professional players. The gap between passers-by and professional players is huge. They were the only 2 teams left at the airport. Yu Zhan, 1.5 minutes to get rid of the poison. Wen Qi said in a deep voice, "There are footsteps, they are coming." Gu Xiao, I saw it and went to your building. The next second, Wen Qi saw Gu Xiao kill the monkey with 98k. Monkey was stunned for several seconds. Only 10 minutes into the game, he was eliminated. But this is a competition, if you are eliminated, you are eliminated. Lu Ying, you have to avenge me. Lu Ying's eyes were gloomy, leave it to me. As he said that, he held an M416 and planned to fight hard. He was very good at moving and maneuvering around. He thought he could destroy the whole team by one person. Deep down, he looked down on the 4 newcomers, but this was a competition, and he wasn't so arrogant as to stand up to one of them. Just as he was about to go to the 2nd floor, Wen Qi jumped out of the window from behind and entered another building. On the 2nd floor, he set up his gun. And Shen Tian stayed there to spread the fire. After all, Lu Ying had some skills. As soon as he reached the 2nd floor, he quickly dodged the first bullet and deflected a shot. Shen Tian fired another shot, causing the teammates behind Lu Ying to fall to the ground. In a melee, 2 teammates of Shen Tian and Luo Ying fell. Yu Zhan chose to save people. Lu Ying, on the other hand, chose to continue the hard fight. Just as I walked to the window, there was a loud gunshot. AF Wen Qi uses M416 to kill CG Lu Ying. Lu Ying's helmet still had some blood left, and he shot to the head with 1 shot. It's a foregone conclusion. In the past, Lu Ying kept saying that Wen Qi shot him in the head because of cheating. Now, in front of 3,000 people in the stadium, Master Qi doesn't mind doing it again. If I want to shoot you in the head, I can. If you shoot your head off with 1 shot, I rely on strength, not cheats. Lu Ying was stunned for a few seconds and immediately took off his headphones. It was so embarrassing that he took it so lightly. He was too eager to win. He actually asked that kid to take advantage of it. Wen Qi was just a fluke, a fluke. As long as he's on full alert, that kid can't expect to have such shitty luck again. Wen Qi just raised his eyebrows slightly, and his explanation was extremely exciting. All the viewers watching the live broadcast saw that scene. Luo Ying, Luo Shen, was shot in the head by the newcomer. Lu Yuyu jumped up with excitement. Wen Qi, great job. Wen Qiao smiled, her Xiao Qi played very steadily. Huazhao in the audience clapped her hands gently and said in a low voice, AF will be a strong opponent. There are 5 rounds in total, and the final score is calculated based on the points of the 2 teams. Lu Ying and the others still have a chance. The next few games were extremely stalemate, and Lu Ying did not dare to be so aggressive. This kind of game was too sloppy and the experience was poor, and the players would be scolded by the audience. In the 3rd round, 26 minutes into the game, Wen Qi blasted Luo Ying's head with an arm. All CG members were wiped out. The outcome is decided. Please give me a monthly pass. Please give me a monthly pass. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 604. After all, the people in the venue were all CG fans, and they were all confused. Last year's runner-up didn't even make it to the top 8 this year? Who dares to believe it? The audience didn't believe it, and neither did the CG team members. Lu Ying threw his earmuffs and said angrily, "What's going on with you?" The teammate said weakly, "AF's people are really strong, we..." "Shut up," Lu Ying was already furious. They didn't even make it to the top 8, and many sponsors wanted to withdraw their funds. The most important thing is that this time, they really lost face. Lu Ying walked towards the side curtain of the stage, and the male fans were roaring, "CG garbage, even the newcomers can't beat it." After all, female fans are partly Yan fans. Lu Ying, don't be sad, try harder in the future, come on. Lu Ying had a gloomy face as he left the stage with his teammates. In the backstage aisle, he ran into 4 people from AF. Wen Qiao folded her arms, looked at the so-called dazed person who was once arrogant in front of her family Xiao Qi, and let out a light sigh. Shen Tian put his hands in his pockets and said in a very polite voice, "Is it clear at a glance who is the father and who is the son? How about calling me dad here?" Monkey clenched his fists and was about to charge forward, but Lu Ying stopped him and lowered his voice, "Isn't it embarrassing enough?" Wen Qi walked up to Lu Ying. The young man's eyes were arrogant and uninhibited. "Hey, Lu Ying, this time I proved with my actual actions in front of 3,000 people that I can kill you without cheating. I can if I kill you once, I can kill you twice or 3 times, so don't spread rumors that I cheated in the future, got it?" When he spoke, he was flamboyant and wanton, with a young man's demeanor and high spirits, but Lu Ying could only knock out his teeth and swallow blood. He gritted his teeth and said, "You are only in the top 8, I want to see how far you can go." "Shen Tian, Luoshan, don't worry about how far we can go. At least, your end point is just our starting point. No matter how far it is farther than you." All AF members left arrogantly in front of the CG team. Lu Ying was puzzled and depressed. In terms of arrogance, they were almost the same as AF's grandsons, so why was it they CG who lost? There is a saying that Wen Qi and the others are aggressive but not crazy, and they did not fall behind at all when it was time to train. The AF team successfully reached the quarter-finals, and the finals are scheduled to be held in Busan in November. When all AF members left the gym, a reporter took a photo. In this photo, several teenagers were in high spirits. Wen Qiao looked at her younger brother with a rare gentle smile, and beside her was Gu Xiao. His eyes seemed to be glued to her, and the admiration mixed in those complicated eyes was vaguely visible. Fu Nanli saw this photo online on the other side of the ocean. He saw Gu Xiao almost at a glance and saw the way he looked at Wen Qiao. Such a look made him feel uncomfortable. They were of the same age, they were high-spirited, and they had many things in common. He didn't need to deliberately understand her hobbies, and he didn't need to ask her to dress more maturely. Just standing together makes them feel right. Therefore, people who work until 2 in the morning get up and rush to the airport at 7 in the morning, and immediately rush to the country. At night, after returning home from the celebration banquet, Wen Qiao took her pajamas and took a shower. When she came back, she saw a text message received on her phone. It seemed to be Gu Xiao's middle school teacher. Wen Qiao's heart suddenly lifted. "Get up, exhale, and solemnly slide away the phone. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me." Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 605. Clicking on the news, there was a photo, which was a group photo of high school graduation. There was a boy standing next to the last row. Even though he was a little far away, Wen Qiao could still spot it at a glance. He and Fu Nanli really look alike. The corresponding name was written at the bottom of the photo. The boy who looked like Fu Nanli was named Gu Xiao. She was not sure, so she sent another message to the teacher, the one on the far right in the last row, "Is that Gu Xiao?" "It's Gu Xiao." Wen Xiao was holding the phone and sitting by the bed, frowning. So Gu Xiao used to look very similar to Fu Nanli. Did he have plastic surgery before returning to China? Didn't he join her club because he was interested in esports, but because of Fu Nanli? Since he has changed his face, does it mean that he doesn't like the original face? So he is the illegitimate son of the Fu family. So is he here to compete with Fu Nanli for family property? I also remembered what Fu Nanli said. I didn't like it before, but later when I saw you getting along with your brothers, I felt that it was good to have a younger brother or sister who doted on them. There was a dull pain in her heart. People said that the Fu family was in deep trouble and the wealthy families were constantly fighting. She didn't take it seriously before, but now she understands it deeply. The next day, in the heavy autumn fog, Wen Xiao walked out of the alley, and Uncle Ji drove her to school in the Volvo that Fu Nanli had given her. She walked along the mist-shrouded plane tree path until she reached the campus of Fukai University. After thinking deeply all night, I still need to ask the question. When passing the football field of Fukai University, Yao Heng was playing football on the field. He was so depressed that he went to the Internet Security Department 3 or 4 times, and every time he could think of the scene where Wen Xiao and he were treated differently. He is an intern at the lowest level in the Cyber Security Department, while Wen Xiao is a guest consultant who is received ceremoniously by the minister. The more he thought about it, the more angry he became. He looked up and saw Wen Xiao. The pent-up anger made him lose his mind. He raised his foot and kicked the football hard at Wen Xiao. The football hit Wen Xiao's head at high speed. There was a bang, a heavy impact, but it was not against Wen Xiao's head, but against Gu Xiao's back, who suddenly jumped over. Gu Xiao put his hand on Wen Xiao's shoulder, groaned, and turned pale. Wen Xiao had long been aware of the football attack. He thought he would dodge the attack with his body, but he didn't notice that Gu Xiao also happened to pass by the playground. Su Ying, who was sitting on the edge of the playground, quickly took a picture of the scene and said softly, "Wen Xiao, this damn girl, you can pick her up wherever you go. She just picked up young Master Fu, and now she has her sights on the new school idol they reopened yet? Shameless." Gu Xiao realized that his hand was on Wen Xiao's shoulder and immediately retracted it. Wen Xiao quickly asked, "Are you okay?" Gu Xiao's tone was cold, "It's okay." Wen Xiao asked, "That kick was very hard. How about I send you to the hospital for a checkup?" Gu Xiao was a little impatient, "I told you it's okay." After saying that, he turned around and walked forward in a hurry. The football was still at his feet. Yao Heng, who was not far away, stretched out his hand to hold the goal frame, his expression a bit unbeatable. "I'm sorry, the kick went wrong." Fortunately, there was a hero to save the beauty. There was still dew on the grass, and the fog had receded. Wen Xiao took a few steps back, then took a quick run and kicked the football. The football came with a fierce force, drawing a beautiful parabola in the air, and then kicked hard and hard. The ground hit Yao Heng in the face. Yao Heng was knocked to the ground by the powerful force of the football. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 606. Wen Xiao raised an eyebrow and looked at him. "I'm sorry, I didn't kick you wrong, I just wanted to hit you in the face." Yao Heng covered his nose with his hand. "You." Wen Xiao had already turned around to follow Gu Xiao's footsteps. Su Ying was so angry that she gritted her teeth. "Bandit, Wen Xiao, you are such a bandit." The other boys on the court were stunned. "This girl's legs are too strong." "Yes, from our school? Let her join the women's football team." "It seems to be from Yanjian." "Yanjian? That's so cool." I want to tell the president of the football club. Brother, please wake up. She belongs to Yanjian, not to Fukai. Our three schools are together, and it has long been accepted that they are one, so there will be no problem. Over there, Wen Qiao jogged for a while and caught up with Gu Xiao. Gu Xiao's face was gloomy. He didn't understand why he wanted to save her. But when he saw the football crashing into her quickly, his body reacted faster than his brain. He didn't like this reaction. Wen Qiao called to him, Gu Xiao, stop. Gu Xiao paused and Wen Qiaolin said, go to the hospital for a checkup. I said I don't need it. You are a member of my club. There are still very important games in December. You can't have any problems with your body. It seems that this is the only reason to take Gu Xiao to a nearby hospital for a checkup. Gu Xiao went to take a X-ray, and the doctor confirmed that no bones were injured. Wen Qiao leaned against the wall outside the clinic. Gu Xiao came out with the film and stopped him. Are you okay? Gu Xiao said indifferently, I told you it's okay. It was the first time that he was escorted to the hospital by others. In a trance, it gave people the illusion that someone cared about him. The two took the elevator and arrived at the small flower bed at the entrance of the outpatient department on the first floor. Wen Qiao hesitated and said, I have something I want to ask you. Gu Xiao looked back at her, what? Wen Qiao lowered his eyes, considered it, and asked, why did you join the AF club? Gu Xiao's hand holding the film tightened, some suspicion flashed in his eyes, and then he said calmly, of course it's because I like playing games. Then why haven't you been to a club before? Gu Xiao put one hand in his trouser pocket, Wen Qiao, what do you want to ask? Seeing his clear eyes, Wen Qiao knew how smart Gu Xiao was, so he didn't intend to be vague, I found something, and I'm a little confused. Tell me the truth. Did you look like Fu Nanli? The autumn wind swept the sycamore tree at the entrance of the hospital, choking Gu Xiao's throat. He felt a little pain in his chest as the autumn wind swept in as he breathed. He had imagined many scenarios in which his true identity would be exposed. He thought he would be able to remain calm, but when Wen Qiao asked, there was still a brief blank in his mind. Wen Qiao thought about the possibility for many minutes, thinking that Gu Xiao might not admit it. Until she brought the photo to him, he gave up resistance and had to admit it. Yes, there was indifference between his brows and eyes, and there was no trace of warmth in his eyes. He answered so simply, so neatly, and so openly that Wen Qiao was stunned for a moment. After a while, he answered, so why do you look different now? Gu Xiao chuckled, why? Of course it's because I don't like that face. He had plastic surgery not because he was worried about his identity being exposed, but because he really didn't like that face. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 607. After all, Gu Yunzu has pointed to Fu Nanli's photo for more than 10 years and told him that this person is very good. You can't be worse than him. You must work hard to catch up with him. Who can like that face? But unfortunately, he looks similar to him. A year before he decided to return to China, he underwent surgery and had minor plastic surgery. His most similar eyebrows had been adjusted by him. He breathed a sigh of relief after getting rid of the nightmare. So you are Fu Nanli's younger brother, right? Gu Xiao said casually, yes. There is nothing to hide in any of this, except that the identity of an illegitimate child seems a bit difficult to talk about. Wen Qiao was a little surprised by his honesty, so why did you come back? Didn't I tell you? I came back because my grandma was not in good health and she needed someone to take care of her, so I came back. The truth ends here. Wen Qiao knew that what he said was a lie. As an outsider, I have no position to persuade you, but I have to say one thing. I don't know what grudges there are between the previous generations of your family, but please don't involve Fu Nanli. He doesn't even know that there are any. A brother like you exists. At that moment, Gu Xiao was envious. His proud brother, who was excellent in all aspects, also had a girlfriend who cared about him like this. Where are there any regrets in life? He is truly the beloved son of the Creator. The Creator gave him the best of everything in the world. The smile on his lips grew colder little by little. I said, I came back for my grandma. Wen Qiao forced a smile and said, sorry, I'm too worried. After Gu Xiao left for a while, Wen Qiao walked out of the hospital. She was not a 3-year-old child. She would believe whatever Gu Xiao said. Gu Xiao chose to join the AF club, and she was the owner of the club. She was also Fu Nanli's girlfriend. She didn't believe that Gu Xiao was really not here for Fu Nanli. She was secretly photographed before when she went to the hospital to cover Gu Xiao's clothes. She didn't take it seriously at the time, thinking it was Fu Nanli's admirer who happened to meet him and secretly filmed it and passed it on to Fu Nanli. Now that I think about it, maybe it's not that simple. Gu Xiao also bluntly expressed his disgust for Fu Nanli. Everything is for Fu Nanli, and entering the club is probably just because it will have more opportunities to contact Fu Nanli. After exiting the hospital gate, she heard the sound of the whistle. She looked up and saw a black Maybach parked in the parking space on the side of Xiangjiang Path. The car window was half open. The man's suit was straight and his back was straight. He waved to her, get in the car. Wen Qiao ran over quickly, and Lao Hu got out of the car and opened the door for her. As soon as she got in the car, she could feel that the air pressure in the car was not right. The man kissed her forcefully, with a punitive touch, a bit fierce. After a long while, he left her red and swollen lips. Wen Qiao gasped softly, what's wrong with you? When Fu Nanli got off the plane, Qin Bei told him that the editor of the company's official Weibo account had received a photo from a private message on Weibo. Qin Bei sounded cautious and asked him if he wanted to see it. He just raised his eyebrows and asked Qin Bei to send it to his mobile phone. Then I saw that photo. The mist-shrouded football field is covered with greenery, and there are young boys and girls. The boy stands in front of the girl, and the worry in his eyes is clearly visible. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 608. Qin Bei also added, the person who sent the photo said that Gu Xiao blocked the football for Miss Wen. I have been depressed until now. The hospital you came to with Gu Xiao. Fu Nanli crossed his legs and tapped his knees with his slender fingers, not wanting to appear too petty. Wen Qiao was honest, well, I came with him. How did you know I was here? Fu Nanli handed her the photo she received on her phone. Wen Qiao clicked her tongue, this is Su Ying. Who else could it be besides Su Ying? Su Ying was really afraid that the world would be in chaos, so she jumped up and down and spared no effort to cause destruction in her life. He blocked the football for me and was captured by someone. It was my cousin Su Ying. You should have an impression. Fu Nanli buckled down the phone and tightened his jaw muscles slightly, he blocked the football for you. Well, I will take him to the hospital for a checkup later. If he is injured anywhere, I'm afraid there will be a delay in the Busan game in December. The car slowly traveled through the alleys covered by camphor trees, a very straight street with seemingly endless green shade. He likes you. Fu Nanli's voice was clear and low, with an imperceptible sour taste. Wen Qiao shook his head, he doesn't like me. She knew that Gu Xiao entered the club and wandered around her just to find a way to get close to Fu Nanli, or in other words, to cause trouble for Fu Nanli. And all this, she didn't know how to tell him that having a younger brother with evil intentions would make him feel uncomfortable, and she didn't want Fu Nanli to feel uncomfortable. Fu Nanli's knuckled hands gently pinched her face and said in a deep voice, you are so unaware of your face. It's really easy to like her. Wen Qiao slowly leaned over, with smiling eyes, and her fingers caressed his big hand. The smell of mint milk filled her nose, and her voice was rustling, and she whispered in his ear. But I, Wenqiao, only like Fu Nanli. The big hand suddenly tightened, like a falcon hunting in the mountains, firmly holding the prey in its hand. You have to like it forever, he said. Of course, she said. The mist gradually dispersed, and Fu Nanli's cold eyes finally became warmer little by little. Wenqiao hesitated for a moment, then asked, "What kind of person is your father?" The car turned a corner and the leather seat was too slippery. Wenqiao slowly slid to Fu Nanli's side. Fu Nanli reached out to catch her and squinted at her. "Why are you interested in my father again?" Causal talk. After a long while, he spoke. "He is a musician, a violin player. In his time, he was famous far and wide. Maybe it's so old that you probably haven't heard of him. Call. His name is Fu Xianyuan." Wenqiao, I have heard that the teacher in the elective course mentioned that he seems to be a close friend with the piano master Mr. Vincent. Well, so before Vincent invited you to attend his concert, Vincent and I chatted for a few words, and it was my father who we talked about. Wenqiao, then what? What about in life? What kind of person is he? Fu Nanli pinched her chin. "Kid, you have a lot of questions." Wenqiao looked at him with big eyes that were hungry for knowledge. Fu Nanli played with her fingers and said slowly, "He is a good husband, very good to my mother, and a good father. My childhood was very happy, and then." You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 609. After that, life took a turn for the worse. My gentle and kind-hearted father went abroad for half a year. Suddenly one day, news came that he had committed suicide. For a person like him, with a noble family background, a beautiful and capable wife, a cute and well-behaved son, a harmonious family, and a winner in life, everyone felt that his life should not end in that way. Until now, he still doesn't know why his father chose to commit suicide to end his life. Wenqiao felt uncomfortable after hearing this. He didn't know how to tell him that you have a younger brother, which is proof that your father is not loyal to your mother. The image of my deceased father in my heart collapsed. There is probably no sharp knife in the world that can hurt people's hearts more than this. Although he has passed away, I envy you for having a good father. Some fathers are still alive, but they are useless, such as Wen Jianmin. Fu Nanli forced a smile. He always had to respond to Wenqiao's relief and couldn't let her worry. That night, Wenqiao went to the club. Wenqi and the others currently have classes during the day and live in the club at night. After finishing their homework, they start training until 12 o'clock in the evening. Wenqiao bought a commercial vehicle for the club, took the boys to school in the morning, and picked them up in the evening to unify their training and routine. She has already taken a look at the new base given by Brother Dong. After a little tidying up there, she plans to move the club there in mid-November. In the past, Brother Dong was interviewing new members while smoking. He wanted to choose the second team and slowly train them. Wenqiao called Xiaobai out of the training room who was playing a game. When Xiaobai walked to Wenqi, Wenqi reached out and patted him on the head. "Did you offend my sister? My eldest sister asked you to go out for a heart-to-heart talk." Xiaobai touched his neck. "I dare not offend anyone if I offend Sister Qiao." Next to the big tree downstairs of the club, Wenqiao asked him carefully, "Is Gu Xiao's sniping very powerful?" Xiaobai, "Of course, Sister Qiao, you also saw the airport game. Gu Xiao is definitely the king of sniping, but our brother Qi is also very good at sniping. Brother Qi is an all-round player, capable of both long-range sniping and close-range attack guns are great. How does your sniping compare with Gu Xiao's? Xiaobai, if I can match him, then I won't be a candidate, Sister Qiao. When Qiao pressed his shoulder, you train hard and try to catch up with him. Xiaobai chuckled, of course I want to catch up with him. I train very hard. Go up and call Wen Qi down. Hey, okay. After a while, Wen Qi jumped down the steps with his hands in his pockets. Wen Qiao, do you really want to be the dean? How about giving lectures one by one? Wen Qiao clicked his tongue, and Master Qi was immediately frightened. You're just joking. Look at you, you can't even take a joke. Let me ask you, is it possible for Xiaobai to catch up with Gu Xiao in sniping? When it comes to games, Wen Qi immediately becomes more serious. Sometimes it depends on talent. Xiaobai is good at close combat, but really not good at sniping and sniping. Gu Xiao and I are on equal footing. Others in the club are sniping. There really is no one who can beat Gu Xiao in terms of sniping, and he has one advantage over me, he is very patient, and I want to learn more from him on this. Wen Qiao lowered his eyes, thoughtfully. Wen Qi, what are you doing? Is Gu Xiao going to quit? No, I just want to check it out on a routine basis. You can go up and train. The monthly ticket has dropped to 19, save the child, oh. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 610. She didn't mean to get rid of Gu Xiao, she just prepared in advance if Gu Xiao entered her club just to use her as a springboard to get close to Nan Li. Then, it would be a matter of time before he left the club. If he left without saying a word, she would be caught off guard and there would be no substitute. How would she be able to compete in future games? Just in case, she had to start arranging her troops in advance. It is Xiao Kai's dream, and it is also her dream. Her club will bravely move forward towards the dream, stand at the top of the honor, and accept flowers and applause. In the training room, Gu Xiao's hand loosened his grip on the mouse. Wen Qi sat down beside him, bringing out the faint wind. He lowered his eyes, and some cracks appeared in his usually calm mood. At night, he returned to his grandmother's house. His other deputy, Teresa, held a lighter in her hand and leaned on the wall of his grandmother's yard with one leg. The lighter opened and closed, and the scarlet fire looked bright in the autumn night. Desolate. How come the young master exposed his identity so quickly? Teresa asked him with a smile. Gu Xiao said coldly, it's exposed when it's exposed, and I didn't deliberately hide it. So why was it exposed? Brother Dong, the club's coach, saw a photo of me that fell out of my wallet. Teresa smiled enchantingly, don't you dislike that face that looks similar to Mr. Fu? If you had surgery on your face without leaving any room, why do you still keep your old photos and keep them in your wallet? Gu Xiao's face turned cold. Teresa, you talk a lot. Teresa still smiled enchantingly. Okay, I know, what are your plans next? Can you still stay in the club? The little girl will be on guard against you for her boyfriend, right? Just stand still. Fu Nanli probably loves Wen Qiao very much. In the end, he should be willing to die for Wen Qiao. I can just reap the benefits. If he dies, doesn't the Fu family belong to me? His tone was cold and decisive. Teresa looked at him with a smile on her lips. So you returned to Haikan just to compete for the Fu family's property? Gu Xiao lowered his eyes. Who wouldn't be tempted by the wealth of our family? Teresa chuckled. Are you really tempted? Gu Xiao raised his eyes and looked at her. You do talk a bit too much today. If you have nothing to do, just leave. Teresa reached out and patted his shoulder. Young master, don't forget your original intention. If Master Fu knows your existence, he will not show mercy to you. After saying that, he turned around and staggered onto the red Ferrari parked on the roadside. The roar of the engine gradually faded away. Gu Xiao stood on the side of the road for a while and entered the yard. Wen Qiao thought and struggled for 2 days, thinking about various opening remarks, how to talk to Fu Nanli about this matter. She said that she must say it, mainly because she was worried that Gu Xiao would be harmful to Fu Nanli, and she had to make Nanli mentally prepared, that is, she had to pay attention to the way she spoke. 2 days later, Wen Qiao asked Fu Nanli to watch a movie. The movie she watched was about an illegitimate child. She thought that after watching the movie, she could follow the trend and use the movie to hide the fact that his father had an illegitimate child outside. Revealed to him. Wen Qiao felt that it was too difficult for him. In the same shopping mall, several boys from the club came to the barbecue restaurant in the mall for dinner after being exhausted from training. After eating the barbecue, club manager and Feng said with a smile, "Brother Dong said that everyone has been training hard recently and can take a night off. Do you want to watch a movie or sing?"